What's good, everybody on Facebook and YouTube land? Me and Surfs Up, we're doing a little interview thing tonight. Actually, I got to mute this really quick. Here, let me turn this down. There we go. We're doing a little hangout Q&A answer session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the chat below. How you doing today, Surfs?
Doing well. Excited to get with you. I've been talking about this for a little while. Want to talk to a whole bunch of new sellers, new to the game.
Yes. Well, how long ago did you start your Facebook journey? Because I think that's where most people are probably going to come from tonight, is probably Facebook.
So yeah, Facebook and YouTube, everything I started up. Actually, you got me on it in February as far as Facebook and Instagram and all that. So we're at like 20,000 subs on Facebook. So
yeah, we were talking about it before the live, how many new people we get over there on YouTube and Facebook land. Lots of basic newer questions that I used to get like back in the day on TikTok, like as I was growing on TikTok, and now it's like a refresher. It's like back to the beginning again, where I get a bunch of the same questions. And I feel like us two paired up answering the questions will be really cool for everybody to not only relearn. Maybe this is a refresher for you, but maybe it's the first time you're getting some of these questions answered. So that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Can you see everybody in your end of chat? You see Casey, you see Lily, you see Trisha.
What's up, Trisha? What's up, Casey? Finally, Ducky.
I just want to make sure
from the other side.
I want to make sure the chats are conjoined over there. All right, I'm signing off of TikTok land.
Yep.
We're going to be over on Facebook and YouTube, so you guys head over there, hang out there. Feel free to ask your questions. Peace.
All right, get this out of here.
Let's go. Yes.
Right.
I like this this YouTube and Facebook only. I like it over here. You guys get to see the whole screen. It kind of looks like TikTok, but you get to, like I told Surfs, if he acts bad, he goes down there. If he talks anything bad about the Titans, he goes down in the corner. That's where he goes.
Put me in timeout. That's fine. You can put me in timeout down there. If I say something that goes completely against your model of reselling, you just put me in timeout.
All the way down the bottom. Next time
I'm new here. How do I get started? Oh, look, everyone's coming in. Ready, need better lighting. You look like a Simpson.
I told them before we started, I said, man, you need a better camera. It's a little grainy on his end. I'm using my Mac, so that's why mine comes in clear.
So nice.
Yes.
Search your Apple, set up your Apple Pay. Oh yeah, I will. I'll set that up. So is that Bart Simpson? I don't know. I bet you have a Bart Simpson Roosevelt, Trisha. Trisha asked, what are our 10 top favorite brands for men's? That's like the question you get all the time.
Yeah, there is no top 10. Send everybody to my eBay store and you can go look at what I'm currently selling. Right now, it's probably Ralph Lauren. That's shout out Surfs Up with that one. I mean, I'm selling a crap ton of Ralph Lauren shirts. Again, they're not crazy profits, but $10 profit every single time they sell, pretty much on average. So they're super easy to list. That's something we gave my mother-in-law as soon as she hopped on. We gave her a box of Ralph Lauren's and said, here you go. These are all long sleeves and polos. Start listing. It'll be easy for you to learn on, and so far so good. So I still have like 3 more of those boxes too. I got to go grab. Have her list.
I just thought about it. Those Ralph Lauren's alone, if she can list however many an hour, that could pretty much pay her. Just Ralph Lauren.
Yep. Yeah.
They'll pay her salary.
I used to pass on all Ralph Lauren's, and like you said when you're watching my live the other day, you were like, I was grabbing all the Ralph. Just imagine, I've probably passed on thousands of those exact Ralph Lauren's because I used to not pick them up, and now I do because of what you've taught me. So yeah, now it's, I mean, I'm going to get like 20 every haul, and then that's 20 that she's going to list. That's $200 that she's going to make just listing those. So pretty cool.
And let's start out. Everyone, you can rewatch this later on Facebook or YouTube. So just letting you know, so we may say some things right now, like what I'm about to say. You can rewatch this later. But the whole KayWay coined it the Surfs Up method with the Polo Ralph Lauren. That was actually something I've never done with my business before. That's something I just started in 2023, finding a brand that you pass over. We all have them. One of them was Brooks Brothers white shirts that you told me about. Something that I normally wouldn't pick up because the profit's only $10 or $12. But then once you have that already listed in your drafts, it's just as easy to list another one. It takes a minute or two to list another one just like it. So you can list probably 30 to 50 of those things an hour, and you're getting $10 a piece.
Yep. And there's probably at least 4 or 5 other brands that we don't even do yet. I know you were doing Under Armour for a little bit and you kind of backed off Under Armour.
Yeah, it backed off. I've been doing it with Brooks Brothers only if it has the fleece. And then the other day you said you're going to start maybe doing it with Lacoste, right?
Yeah, Lacoste has been doing pretty good. If I like a Lacoste polo, it's got to be 5 or under. And the thing with Lacoste, if you're picking up the polos, you got to make sure they're not like dingy looking, because a lot of them, when you pick them up, it looks like they've been washed 5 million times and they're just all dingy. So you have to get them in good condition. The newer labels always tend to look a little bit better and they always sell a little bit better. So if I can get them 5 or under, $17.99 to $19.99 plus ship, depending on the size and the pattern and all that good stuff. And they've been moving pretty quick for me. So probably start testing those out more often.
For sure. Let's get to some questions.
Yes, sir. You take it off. I'll follow you up.
Besides watching other resellers and millions of videos, how do you keep up with trending brands that sell well? I just put out a video a couple days ago. I always tell people, I know you might not have it, but you can get online. I'll just go into Nordstrom and walk around and see what's on trend. So if it's selling at Nordstrom, those are the brands I'm looking for. And then also, I think a good place is REI, because hiking brands really take a long time to go out of style, if ever. So those are 2 places I would go. You can go online and look at those places.
Yep.
So
you could also just hop online and look up sold comps on eBay. So for example, if you want to know what's selling the most in long sleeve shirts, like long sleeve button down shirts, you just type in men's long sleeve button down shirts. And let's say you want to look for an average sell cost of somewhere around $35 to $50. It's a good margin for you to make a good amount of money on, especially if you're going to thrift stores and buy them for like 5 to 10. So you put that in and then you just go through and filter for sold and you look at all the brands that are currently selling, and you'll see the same brands pop up over and over and over again. And you'll just make a mental note of that, of, hey, this brand is selling pretty well. Put that off to the side and then go do some more research just solely on that brand to see what exactly is selling in that brand. Maybe it's only a certain item that's selling in that brand and you see it over and over again. That was me, not you.
Dang it.
But yeah, that's an easy way to look up research an item. That's actually how I started researching items, like way back in the day. I would look up certain brands or certain styles, long sleeves, jeans, so on and so forth. And I would just see what's currently selling based off a certain price point. You always just throw in a certain price point. You can put 35 to infinity if you want, but I always like to do like 35 to 50. So it kind of narrows it down for me. So I'm not looking at a ton of stuff all at once.
Yep.
What do we got next? So how do you link USPS to eBay? Show you. I don't know what you mean by show you, but USPS is already on eBay. Yeah.
I think it's easier than now. And they said, should you? Yeah, you should.
Should you?
It's easier now than ever. I feel like plug to whoever made the videos, but you can go on YouTube and say, how do you connect USPS to eBay? But really, eBay will probably already come up once you create your store. Probably have something come up like connect USPS to eBay. It'll probably direct you right to it. But yeah, you definitely should, because you'll save. You watch KayWay pack his stuff every morning. You watch me pack stuff. We print all our labels at home, and on average, we probably get a 20% discount by buying our labels from eBay off our computers at home.
Yep. You don't need to have a printer at home. You can always do the QR code, so you can still buy the eBay labels at the discounted rates and take those QR codes into the post office. They'll scan them and print your labels for you. Of course, you got to wait in line to do that. You got to drive to the post office. So eventually you'll be like, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to buy myself a thermal printer. You can get them pretty cheap now. But again, you don't need a printer by any means. You can just literally get the QR codes sent directly to you. Heather wants to know, what specific Ralph Lauren polos do you pick up? Do you have like a short little list of what you're looking for in Ralph Lauren?
Yeah. I'll just simply say the generic polo with the 3 buttons right here, just like Lacoste, a lot of those are dingy. So for the most part, I stay away from those unless they're a big size. So I pick up button ups or button down. When the collar's button down, that's called a button down, and it has to have the logo. So button down, logo, and then I like to pick up sizes small through up. I don't like to pick up the number sizes like 17 and 34, 36, because those are kind of tough to judge the size. It's easier to small, medium, large, because when people look that up, they look up small, medium, large, extra large, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I picked up a couple this week that were like 17 and a half because I know that's a bigger size. I think it's like an XL or 2XL, and I just wanted to give those a try to see if they sell fast. If they take too long to sell, then I know not to pick those up. But I remember you talking about that too. One other thing I'd say is with Ralph Lauren, you're always looking for materials too. Silk, linen, things like that will always make your items sell for more. And then look for super unique Ralph Lauren pieces like the terry cloth polos, for example. They're like really cloth feeling polos, really soft feeling polos. Those will sell for big money, and you're not going to find them very often. So if you find something unique, you might just want to stop and take a second to look it up because usually those go for big money.
You guys already know that's my favorite brand if you watch me.
Oh yeah, it's turning into it might oversell Tommy Bahama this year.
Well, and I always tell people just the basic, and then like you said, the crazy, the vintage, the out there. There's just so many. The double RL, anyways.
Yep. Here's Elliot dropping his top 10 right there. Elliot knows his stuff. Bird Dogs, Arcteryx, Roback, Bad Birdie, Sunday Swagger, one I've never found before. Viore, Smart Wool, Filson, Triple, Ott, and then Poncho. Really, really good list right there. So if you guys need some Bolo brands, literally just screenshot this because that's all. If you find anything in pretty much any of those brands that's like around $5, you're making money on all that stuff. So
big money.
Yep, big money. Somebody wants to know about Nike polos. That's a question for you because I don't pick up Nike polos. Mike wants to know which ones you pick up.
So it has to be a newer. You could go to Dick's or wherever sporting goods store and look at the screen print tag. I have some back here. I'm not getting it, but the newer screen print tags, I like to get the newer models of the Nike, and I have to pay less than $5. And then those are searched up method, like a quick list. So take pictures in 30 seconds, list similar in 30 seconds. So it takes me a minute to list that. And I'm looking for like a $12 profit. But of course, there are always the asterisk ones like the Tiger Woods. Those are always really good.
Yep, facts.
And also blade collars. I'm going to add that in there too. Blade collars are really good.
Jacob wants to know, do we only sell clothing? I sell mostly clothing. Pretty much like 95% of my business is clothing, and I have a little bit of hard goods I sell. What about you, Surfs?
So I really will pick up anything that I can sell easily that's not clothing. I don't get electronics because it takes a lot of time to test it. I just don't like doing it. But for example, I picked up a whole case of Cutco yesterday. Definitely picking that up. I got this helmet this week. I'm going to pick that up. So
I was praying that wasn't going to be a Colts helmet.
No, it's not a Colts helmet. I didn't want to be put in timeout. But yeah, I'll pick up hard goods. And actually, a lot of you guys know that was my forte for so long. So I actually had to pivot, which was really hard because I was going from $80 profit items, $100 profit items, $500 profit items. Now I'm going 15, 10, 20 on a regular. So I had to pivot to clothing, which was really tough for me mentally, but it's what I had to do. So,
yep. There's another question right there. Kelly wants to know, on eBay, do you typically sell for a bid or buy it now? How do you make the decision? I'll let you go first.
A lot of my videos are bid auctions, but no, 99.8% of my items are buy it now with best offer. So I only do rare items at auction. For example, a pair of Jinkos, a Kuji, maybe a single stitch shirt that I can't find one just like it. I'll let that go at auction. Stuff like that are rare.
Yeah, I don't think I've ran one auction this year except for on Whatnot. That's it. I pretty much am 100% buy it now, best offer. If it's something rare, like Surf said, I'll just throw it up for a high amount and I'll put best offer on it and I'll let the market decide. So if I start getting, like if I list something for like 200 and I get multiple $100 offers, that probably means I should be pricing it more around 100, and I'll probably take one of those offers instead of letting it sit around. But I don't do any auctions. That's a way both of us, we do our businesses a little bit different. Surfs is in the get it in, get it out, get it gone method. And I'm kind of changing my business over to that a little bit. But we always learn from each other. That's, again, you can run your businesses however you want. And that's a great way for him because, like he said, gets it in, gets it out, and he makes some good money on it. So let's see.
I'm going to piggyback off that while you find the next one. I always like to say everyone does things different. There's no right way to do it. There's a million ways to make $1 million. So I would watch as many KayWay, whoever, and look at their methods of whether it be taking pictures, whether it be cross-listing, whatever, and just take bits and pieces and see what works for you. So like, I don't have as much as garage space as KayWay does, so I can't store as much in my house as he does.
But he has stuff stored in all rooms of his house, like literally every room. He took us to one of his lives, and he's got like a bin in the corner of this room. He's like, I got a bin in the corner of this room.
I got 5 square feet in every room covered.
He goes underneath his kids' beds and he pulls out like 4 bins. He's like, this is where I store all of my shoes. But yeah, I was gonna say something. Oh, like what he's saying, like take bits and pieces from other people. What I would say is do your research on those people first too, because people will say they're making $1 million a year on eBay, but then you go look at their stores and you can see that they're not really making $1 million on eBay. And if they are, they're doing it in other ways. So the first thing that happened when I found Surfs on TikTok, he had his store linked in his bio. I literally went to his store and I saw what he was selling. And he said he was selling these Ralph Lauren polos for, $20, and he kept doing it over and over again. It was like a really old video from him. So I went to his store and I was like, I don't sell Ralph Lauren polos. How the hell is this guy doing it? And I went to his store and sure enough, Ralph Lauren in his sales. And I was like, okay, this guy is actually practicing what he preaches. And then I brought him on to my TikTok live, and it's been a friendship ever since. But always make sure you vet your resellers, vet your influencers, because some of them, they put out good information, some put out bad information, but it's really easy to do. Just find somebody posted a sale video. You need to find that one sale on eBay, and you can find their whole store and all of their information. It's super easy to do. Yep. Question from Daniel. It says, shipping with flat rate envelope versus poly mailer or padded flat rate. What are the advantages and disadvantages, cost differences? You want to take this? You want me to take it?
You are the ex-postal worker.
Yes, I am. Flat rate envelopes. So I shipped out some things this morning on live. I forget what it was, but one of which was, I think it was a pair of jeans. That I don't use those. I use paddeds, and I know I can save money on those, but I don't use those. That's what I use right there. I think it was a pair of jeans, and it was going to somewhere in Florida. So it was actually cheaper for me to not use a padded flat rate, to just put it ground advantage and to ship it out that way. In other instances, if I'm like shipping a pair of jeans to California, they're over 2 pounds. Ground advantage for that would probably be like $9, $10, somewhere between there. If I throw it in a padded flat rate, which is the one that he just showed, it's $8.30. So there's different ways to cut yourself down on shipping. The beautiful thing about flat rates is you don't have to weigh them. As long as it fits in there, it ships. But a lot of instances now with the new ground advantage, you're going to be using ground advantage a lot more. The only time I really use it is if I'm shipping like something like super far away from me. That's where, the padded flat rates and stuff like that come into play.
If you're a newbie, I would definitely have people pay for shipping. And even a piece of me feels like if you're doing, let's say fall's coming up, you're just doing jeans, maybe only ship out in these for a while, just so you get a good sense of how much you're going to be charging someone for shipping, or how much it's going to cost you for shipping. You have a good idea, because shipping I've seen it time and time again where people will just get frustrated and give up because of shipping. And it's really easy once you get it.
I'll let you read this one. It's not a question.
Not a question, but a thermal printer and autopusher changed the game for me. 3 months of continuous growth since getting the 2. Great investment. Chris, I will say I'm 100% with you. I say it in lives so often, people probably get tired of hearing, but the best monetary investment I made in my business was a thermal printer. I was writing down for so many years and printing off for my printer. Best investment I've ever made was a thermal printer, especially as I started to scale. And then getting introduced to autopusher 5 months ago, agreed, game changer. So anyone in here, a question I get, actually I'm gonna ask you, KayWay, a lot. I get that a lot. What would you suggest is the key number of items listed in your store, on your website, to get autopusher? When does it make sense?
I always tell people, like, if you sell on, like, let's say you sell on eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari, if you have like 100 listings on all 3 platforms, I think autopusher will pay for itself. If you just have like eBay or you just have Poshmark, if you just have Poshmark, there's a lower tier to autopusher that will do everything for you. I think it's $25 a month instead of $35 a month. So that's an option right there for you. You actually save a little bit of money. But if you're just on eBay, I would say probably somewhere around 100 to 150 listings. And just know if you're consistently listing and consistently selling, that would work for you. If you're pretty stagnant and you don't make a ton of sales, I would say maybe get your listings up a little bit more, because basically when you get a program like this, you want it to pay for itself. And I think around that 100, 150 mark is where it would start paying for itself. So that's my answer to that. If you sell on multiple, it'll be 100 per platform. If you're only on eBay, I think like 150-ish range is probably where you're acceptable to get auto posture. It'll, of course, if you want to buy it and with less than that, that's fine, but it probably won't pay for itself, and that's not the point of getting it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question for you. He'll bring back bad memories, though.
Oh man, do I recommend selling artwork on eBay? Artwork is really tough because you have to find the right person who wants that exact style of art. My suggestion with artwork is to go to askart.com, pay $30 for like a 1 month membership, and find a studio that are looking for that artist. So if you can go to Google and you type that artist in and a ton of stuff pops up, then you know that's probably a desirable artist. And there are tons of studios out there that will want to buy that from you. So I wouldn't put it on eBay. I would probably put it on AskArt. In my case, I had no idea who painted portraits. Portraits are really tough sometimes to find the actual artist. So if you don't have an actual artist to link it to, yeah, I would just put it up on eBay. Maybe that would be a good place.
Nancy asks, I created my business on eBay, but do I just use the name of my business in the different platforms as my username? So I don't think your eBay username really matters. I think people will look it up. So what I try to do is keep the same name across all my platforms. So Instagram, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. Try to keep them all the same. It just makes it look more fluid. But yeah, that's my suggestion. If you already have a name picked out, just keep them on all platforms. What do you think, Sirs?
100%.
Yep. Let's skip down a little bit. Well, here we go. I found Chaps Ralph Lauren. Do they sell? I think it depends on the Chaps Ralph Lauren, but normally I pass on that brand. What do you think, Sirs?
I really struggle to sell Chaps Ralph Lauren. It's like 1 in 1,000 pieces, maybe.
Yep. Here's another one. Do you pick up men's blazers? What's some of the men's blazers you pick up, Surfs?
Oh man, this time of year, since it's fall, I love Harris Tweed blazers. And Harris Tweed, a lot of brands, it'll be a branded, maybe Stafford or whatever, or it might not even have a brand, but they're using the fabric, and you'll see it on the inside. It'll say Harris Tweed. It's just like a herringbone tweed. Those things sell like $50, $60 like that in the fall. So those are probably my favorite that you find often this time of year.
Yep. Another thing, like we were saying earlier, is just look up comps on eBay. So just put in men's blazer and put in like $50 to $100 and just look and see what brands you're consistently seeing over and over again in the sold section. I'll make Surfs jealous right now. I went to do the bulk buy pickup today, and I got 2 Brioni blazers from my bulk buy guy. I paid $25 each for them. I've never sold a Brioni blazer, but I'm sure I'm going to make good money on those.
He just spit really good information, guys. Brioni is the brand to pick up.
I also bought a dress shirt from him too. That was Brioni as well. That's the third one in 2 weeks that I bought from him.
Can I put you in timeout, or can you only
Nope, it can't happen.
But blazers, I would say also, what's your least favorite thing to list?
Oh, blazers and suits. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Shoes and blazers are pretty neck and neck.
Blazers and suits for me too, but we still pick them up because when they sell, they hit hard.
Oh, it's so nice. Like you're paying like $4 to $5 for a blazer, and they're selling for $100 plus shipping. Like it's and they're not like, sometimes they're not crazy brands. They're just like Ralph Lauren blazers that are doing good because they got a little cashmere in them or something like that. You make like a nice little $50 profit. But storing them and listing them, it's like I have like a $150 blazer sitting over there that I know is going to sell. As soon as I list it, it's a Bonobos. It's brand new with tags, and I haven't listed it yet. It's just sitting over there.
Well,
I don't want to list it.
My kids' mattresses are made of blazers.
So the shoes are under their bed, and the mattresses are what they lay on. I got you.
It's their box springs, actually, but go ahead.
Nice. Jamie wants to know about Levi's. You probably sell more Levi's than I do, so you can probably speak to this because I don't really pick up Levi's too often.
Do you sell all 501s? What do you look for when coming across these jeans? So Levi's, anything 501 made in the USA, I would say is a good pickup. But again, it's your cost. People get so confused. There are so many brands that I say I don't pick up. Let's say American Eagle jeans, because my costs on American Eagle men jeans are $8. But if the thrift store had them all listed for $1, I would buy every pair I could find. So I'm paying $8 for 501s. It has to be made in the USA and men's. But really, I don't find a whole lot, but it has to be made in the USA for 501s. I also have others like different colored. If you can get different colored 501s, anything that's unique, anything unique.
Yeah, I think that's why like at the bins, the jean bin is always hit super hard because people are picking up the Levi's like over and over again. They're paying like $1.25 for them, and they're listing them for like $14.99 plus ship, and they're selling them super fast. But yeah, where we are, like I'm paying anywhere between $5 to $8 for jeans. I list them for $14.99 plus ship. I'm still making a profit, but it's not enough for me to mess around with. So I normally just leave those behind. Like you said, I pretty much pick up only vintage Levi's, orange tab, silver tab. Those are the ones that I pretty much go for. Everything else, I know there's money in them, and I know a lot of people are probably listening to us right now and like, I sell Levi's for $25. I just don't mess around with them. I just leave them. Maybe that's like a future Surfs Up method item that would pick it up for like $5 and sell it for $20, something like that. But for now, I don't pick them up.
And one thing with jeans, I'm with you, Jamie. By the way, what's up? Another thing with jeans is you have to measure because they shrink. People dry them, they wash them, they dry them, wash them, they shrink. So almost no pair of jeans is exactly what the label says, especially with Levi's. So you have to do all the measurements pretty much perfectly. And like I think even you said, like people return jeans a lot.
Yeah, I always do buyer pays return shipping on jeans and pants in my store. Again, I lose out on the discount from eBay when I do that. But when I first started selling pants and jeans, the most returned item, if they don't fit perfectly, people want to return them. But if I put buyer pays return shipping, for some reason, they seem to fit again. So I just put that on and I don't have to usually worry about a return. If I do get a return, then at least I get some of that money back. So I don't have to worry about it. Diane asked, this is more of not a question, but actually it is a question. She just forgot the question mark. I have a long vintage looking Ralph Lauren linen half button shirt with a polo golf emblem stitched on the pocket. Any idea where I can find comps? How would you find comps on that, Surfs?
You pretty much gave me the entire description. So I would go into eBay on my phone or on your computer, and I would just type in Ralph Lauren linen, probably pullover shirt, and I'd look up golf club or emblem stitched or pocket or whatever, and then look up sold listings, and then look up sold and completed listings and what sold used condition.
Yep. And I would not worry about finding the exact one. If you find ones that are similar to it, just look at what the similar ones are selling for and price around that, or maybe price a little bit above it because maybe you have a rare one. So maybe price a little bit above it. And just like I was saying in the beginning of the live, let the market decide what that's going to go for. So if you list it, like let's say the market's at like $35 on eBay, you list it at $55 because you think yours is more rare, but you keep getting $35 offers. It's probably because yours is at market at $35. So that's a way to feel out the market. And if it sells super fast, then you got to think maybe it was super rare and you sold it underpriced. And that's when you would probably throw it on auction and try to get a little bit more. That's kind of what Surfs does. So it's kind of a gamble, but I would price it super high, best offer, or just throw it on auction. Have fun with it. Let it run.
And to go with that, if you do, people tell me all the time, I accidentally sold something way too cheap. The goal is for you to continue to do this. So that's just going to be 1 out of 30,000 pieces, hopefully one day that you sold. You're not going to remember it. Be happy you got it out the door that quick. So that will always happen. I've done it. I guarantee Wayne's done it. So.
Yep. Did you invite her here or did she just?
Why so serious?
Why is she? Who invited her here?
She's invited.
No, she's not. She's not allowed to be here. That's my my sister's account, by the way, if you guys want to go follow her, she's on YouTube right now, but I think she has a Facebook profile. I'm being really nice. I probably shouldn't even shout her out, but that's her right there. Sunrise
And
Listing.
I call her the bins queen because she goes to the bins and finds everything at the bins that I hope to find at the thrift stores.
Yeah. You're now a bins queen almost. I saw you go to the bins too.
With bearded, yeah, he made me.
You're my bins queen.
Yeah.
Autumn says, should I auction something off if there's none listed and none sold, but it retails for $300, or buy it now? I'll let you handle that one. Starting out.
So if there's none listed on eBay, a lot of times I'll just go straight to Google and type whatever the item is, or even do like a Google Lens and see if I can find something like that. And if there is one on Poshmark or listed somewhere else for $300, it depends. If me personally, if I have $5 into it, I have no trouble. But with the thing about auction, guys, it has to be something that will pop up on people's radars. So if I list a Kuji, as you know, the second I list it, people are going to get alerts that there's a new Kuji listed. If this is an item that there's none listed, then there might not be a lot of people with that looking for that item. So they're not going to have that alert. So I don't know if I would auction anything like that. I would only auction something that a lot of people are looking for in high demand that's rare.
That's a good point too. Like if it's something that doesn't have a lot out there, there might still be people with those alerts out that are looking for that specific item. So that might be an instance where you list it buy now best offer, because they're still going to get those alerts, but obviously just less people are going to get them. But if you have a collector looking for that specific item, they might just come in and swoop in and buy it because they're never probably going to see it again, or they have to wait another year for that item to pop up. So that would be an instance of like feel it out. And you can always switch a buy it now best offer to an auction listing too. So if you're getting a lot of hits like back to back to back, maybe you switch that to an auction listing and just let them compete for it. Like let them, and that might actually get you more money because you might get 3 or 4 people going after the same item. So yeah,
Agreed.
I will talk about that retail, the part where it says retails for 300. One thing you have to pay, obviously you're having something that doesn't have anything listed. And this is speaking more to, because when I do my live thrifts, I see people like that retails for $100, pick it up. It's like, yeah, but it's not reselling for $100. You have to look at what resale value is. So that's what I want to stress. Probably every time I do a live thrift, I get comments like, pick that up. That retails for this, it retails for that, but it doesn't resell for that. You have to look up what's listed versus what's sold on eBay, and that'll tell you if it's a good pickup.
That's probably the most important thing you said tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You haven't said anything nice about me. When you do, I will.
Well, I skipped over the Trisha talking about the Colts on purpose. I was going to put that up, but like, nah, I'll keep this civil. Keep this civil right now. T-Brew asks, how do I cut down returns on women's jeans? I'm about to donate them. I did speak to that just a little bit ago. This might be an old comment too, but I do buyer pays return shipping on almost all of my jeans just for that specific reason, especially women's jeans. Because for ladies, if they don't fit them perfectly around the hips or the thighs, they want to return them. They're like, these don't fit. I want to return these. So I say it's perfectly fine. You can return them, but you got to pay return shipping on eBay for those. So that's how I kind of cut down returns on those. And I get a whole lot less returns than I used to get on jeans and pants because of that.
I have, with what I do, I have buyer pay shipping, return shipping for everything. I don't get top rated seller, whatever it is now. I get top rated seller, but I have buyer pay return shipping for everything, and I don't get that many returns. So when I get a return, I'm just like, I refund them and I relist it.
Facts. Here we go. Here's a good one that's kind of hard for me to answer because I'll tell you how I look this stuff up. What's the easiest way to determine fabric type of clothes? Example, knit, microfiber, wooden, woven, not wooden, etc. So a lot of times if I don't know the keywords to use on an item, I'll just look up that item and see others that have sold. And then if they put microfiber in the title, I'll put microfiber in my title. If they put woven in their title, I'll put woven in mine. You can also just Google like different knits and stuff like that. A lot of times with like suit patterns, I'll forget like, the herringbone or the Harrington, all those different suit designs and stuff like that. I'll look it up on Google really quick and I'll put the keyword that I need. So that's another quick and easy way to find out exact keywords that you need for those.
I'm not being rude. I actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I took a screenshot. I must have deleted it, but so what I did was I went to Google and typed up men's shirt patterns or blazer patterns, and it gave you like a tile of probably 12 different patterns and the name of each one right under it. And I just screenshotted that, and I have it right on my phone, so I can pull that out and know exactly what to list it as.
Nice. That's really good information. I need to do that too. Add it to like the saved folder or like the heart folder, so go back so it doesn't fall into your pictures, because we know we all take a ton of pictures. So add that to your saved folder, and then you always can go back and catch it. Here's another one. This answer is easy. I think we both answer this the same. I have 500 listings and 450 solds. Should I start a store?
Yes.
Yes. You will actually save money every month if you start a store with that many listings. You're paying a ton of insertion fees. If you do the math, I think if you just get the first store, I don't know what the first store goes up to. I think it's 500 listings or something like that. It's either 500 or 1,000. You would actually save yourself money with insertion fees every month.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree 100%. 500 listings for sure, store.
Yeah. Here's a good one for me, because I know you use those envelopes. Why do I use padded flat rates for jeans? I could use regular envelopes, and I probably should. I could save myself money, but I just like the padded. I don't know. They're like, it's like what, 35 cents more, something like that, to use the padded flat rates. They just add a little bit of protection, and they're super easy to just slide the jeans in. And I know as a mailman, those other envelopes, they don't typically fit in the mailbox. And for the mailman, they can just take those paddeds and squish them down, and they go right into the mailbox. Easy peasy. So I don't know. I use paddeds. It's probably not the best practice, but it's something I like to do in my business. So
I use padded for every pair of jeans I sell.
We're twins. That's
for the exact same reason. They're just so easy to put jeans in, and like you said, it's like 30 cents more. I just do it.
Yep. They're a little bit thicker, a little bit more durable. You don't use the plastic wrap either. So with jeans, if those like other envelopes get wet, they can seep into them and your jeans would get wet. Whereas if you use those paddeds, you don't have to worry about that. I plastic wrap all mine, but you don't do that with yours. So you're actually probably saving yourself from some returns and stuff like that by using the padded. Yep. Here's another one. How do I deal with cross-listing on Mercari from eBay, since it requires specific shipping dimensions? Sue, when I cross-list from eBay to Mercari. I've never actually downloaded a Mercari listing and cross-listed it to eBay. I probably should try that to see exactly what you're saying. But if you're doing that, what I do with, I don't know how you do it, Surfs, but what I do with my shirts and stuff, I always use my dimensions as 11 by 9 by 2, because most of them are going into a regular envelope, and they're normally always 11 by 9 by 2. So, and if they're going ground advantage, it really doesn't matter. Even if you're off an inch or so, they're not really looking at the length and width. They're just looking at how much it weighs and where is it going to. So that's what I would say with that. You're going to have to put some kind of weight and dimensions when you list on eBay. Depending on what you're listing, you might have like a baseline weight and dimensions. When you ship the item on eBay, you can always change those weight and dimensions and get your label that way. So really, you don't have to be super precise with it, but you want to be kind of close, especially if you're charging shipping.
Yep.
Do you have like a baseline that you put in for all of your shirts and stuff?
Yeah, usually like 8 by 8 by 2, something like that. I mean, like I was showing earlier, this isn't even a shirt, but I mean, like 8 by 8 by 2. And like you said, it's really mostly, the most important thing is the weight when it comes to a shirt. So yeah.
Yep. Steven says, how much quicker do items sell with free shipping? I'm worried about returns with free shipping because I've been burned before. Surfs, how many items do you sell with free shipping on
them? 0.
Good answer. I like that answer. I have recently started changing over the way I list to a lot of plus shipping, simply because of his model. I see how he's selling his stuff. The items, I think everything that I'm listing under $30 now is going to be plus shipping. And things are actually selling for more money than they used to. People are paying $30 plus $6 shipping, and I used to list that item for $35. So they're paying $1 more just to have it shipped out to them. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm making more money in the long run. So I would play around. If you're doing free shipping and it's burning you, I would try to just charge shipping on some things and see if that changes your business. Also, if you're getting burned on returns, just do buyer pays return shipping for a little bit and see if that cuts down on some of those returns and see if you still get the same amount of sales. It's always like a little game of like cat and mouse, seeing what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with today, it's really surprising that it still works for me, because it's the Amazon of today. You know, everyone wants Prime, they want it right away with free shipping, but it works. And I could argue either way, even though I'm doing buyer pay shipping, but I think people do click on like least expensive to most expensive, and then ours pop up, and then also there are the other crowd that do free shipping and ours don't pop up, or mine doesn't pop up. So, but it works for me.
Yeah. Kay says, I've been having a lot of returns for fit lately. I include measurements in every listing. Is there something I can do to help? I'll let you take this one.
I have a lot of returns. So I actually don't have a lot of issues with returns, as far as I only sell men's clothing, really, for the most part. I don't sell a lot of women's. I wanted to go down that avenue, but I just don't like the measure. You have to take so many different measurements. So for men's, I just do collar to bottom hem, pit to pit. I do them in my pictures, so there's no confusion for the person. They're right there. And I don't really have any issues. If it doesn't fit 1 out of every 200 items, they return it. I don't know what I could tell you to do different.
Yeah, I think it's just part of the game.
Measurements.
I think it's part of the game. When it comes to selling clothing, you're going to get returns for fit issues. If you ran a brick and mortar business, almost every single clothing brick and mortar business offers free 90-day returns if the item doesn't fit. So everybody's already accustomed to, hey, if this item doesn't fit, I should be able to return it. But I mean, if you're getting, let's say you're listing or you're selling 20 items and you're getting 10 of those returned for fit issues, that's either a really big anomaly or your listings are bad. Maybe your measurements are bad. So maybe just double check your measurements. But if you're selling 100 items and you're getting like 5 returns, I wouldn't really worry about it. It's just a cost of business. It's part of selling clothing, and just list that item again. My motto is always, if it sells once, it'll sell twice. So relist it, get it to sell again, and most likely, hopefully, it doesn't get returned again. What's worse, delivering mail in a torrential downpour or being a Titans fan? Oh, that's a really close. That's a really close one. I would have to say torrential downpour. If you ever walked, especially if it rains in the morning as a mailman, if you have ever walked with wet shoes for 6 hours, it is miserable. And then you get home and your feet are all like nasty, and like sometimes the skin comes off your feet because you have to keep walking. You can bring an extra change of socks, but by the time you walk through everybody's yard again, your socks get all wet again.
We're trying to keep people in here. That's a lot of nasty.
Hey, listen, I have to answer people's questions. Here's a good one. Should I list clothing items individually or as a lot on eBay?
That's a really good one to toy with. With everything from the beginning, there's a lot of trial and error. It's nice that there are people now to follow that you can watch daily, like KayWay. You can watch him every single day. He tells you what he's packing, what he's shipped, what he's sold, everything. But those are things that I practiced and played with along the way. So let's say, for example, a Under Armour polo shirt. Those aren't selling really well for me. Maybe like $16 plus shipping. So if I find 3 that are exactly the same size and like look alike, I might buy all 3 for $5 a piece and try to get 12 to 13 out of them by lotting them up. So I'll lot them up together and try to get around, I don't know, 36, 30, $40 out of them. And that it's just a trial and error thing. Sometimes it saves you time. Sometimes it's not. With the Polo Ralph Lauren's, that's totally something that I tried to do. Now, I actually tried, when I did Polo Ralph Lauren's, I tried a few different methods, and that's one I try to do. Lotting them up, selling them individually, selling them with promoted, selling them more expensive with a sale, less expensive without a sale. What happened was when I sell stuff together as a lot, often people will say, can you separate it? I'll get that question a lot. So often. So I don't do lots very often anymore. Not at all.
Yeah, I do maybe a couple lots a year. Normally It's just items that I have that have been sitting in inventory for a while, and I'll pull them and put them in one listing and lot them up and sell them that way. Sometimes they sell quickly. Sometimes they even sit for longer in lots. So it really just depends. With lots, it's like you instead of doing individually, you're looking for that one person that's looking for 2 or 3 Ralph Lauren polos and they want to buy them all at once and get a good deal. And I think that's actually harder than just having a person go and buy 3 different listings from your store, put them in the cart and buy them together. So yeah. I know a lot of people who lot a lot and they make a good amount of money lotting. I just don't do it. I just do it very, very rarely.
Can I add something onto that tip for some people? So with the Polo Ralph Lauren button-up shirts that I've been doing and the Nikes, anything that's less than $20, the titles are usually really short. Men's button-up, Polo Ralph Lauren XL stripes, right? So what I do at the end of the title might be against, the gods of eBay, but combined shipping really big at the end of my title. So people will see, oh, if there's more in his store, he'll combine shipping. I've been putting that at the end of my title, and I have more people buying combined like that.
Nice. That's a good point right there. Denise, I'm not going to read your whole question, but this is an item like if you have one listed for 82 and one listed for 14 and there's none sold, I would probably list somewhere in between those 2 numbers and just put best offer and see what kind of offers come in. I probably wouldn't pick up something like that unless I saw some solds. Even if I see something's listed for 82, I think a lot of new sellers will go on and they'll find an item and they'll see somebody has it listed for $100 and they're like, oh, I got to pick this up. I'm going to make good money on it. But if you don't see any solds, it's going to sit for a while. This is a very niche item, 1970 item. If obviously you don't want to lose money on it, just list it right in between the 2 numbers, best offer, and get as much as you can for it. Just wait for those offers to come in.
And you have complete control. If you don't want to sit on it, if you're tired of sitting on it, drop the price 10% every month or whatever. So you have complete control.
Rodzilla said, because you get free discounted shipping supplies every quarter. Yes, with the eBay store. I don't think you get it with the first store. I think you get it with the second store and above, if I remember correctly. But yeah, if you do have a store, you do get the shipping discount or the discounted code to buy shipping supplies from eBay, which I actually bought. And if you haven't bought any yet for your for third quarter, you only have 2 more days. I think there's only 30 days in September, so you have 2 more days to buy those supplies. I do have a link in the description. I have a link in all my bios to go right to the eBay store where you can use that. So make sure you do that before the end of this month if you haven't done it already. This is like the one quarter I always forget to do it, or I do it like at the end of the quarter. So
it's a busy time. And yeah, I don't know what store level. I just know mine's $60 a month. And then if you buy a year, you get a discount. But with the $60 a month, just for you guys that don't know, you get $50 quarterly to spend on eBay products, shipping products. So whether it be poly mailers, or you can even buy a whole bunch of thank you eBay things, or boxes. So whatever you want, $50 a month. So you can also think about that when buying a store. You're going to get $200 a year worth of packing supplies.
Yep. Rod also said, USPS still allowing padded flat rate envelopes because I thought they were getting rid of those. I think there was a rumor at like the beginning of this year that they were going to get rid of them. They're still producing them. They still have tons of them. I think I actually heard that rumor on Pure Hustle Podcast. I think they're the ones that I heard it from first. Yeah, they're still making them. I don't see any news about them getting rid of them. But if they do make news about getting rid of them, you should order as many as you possibly can. Like with the regional boxes, I ordered a massive amount of those. I'm out of them now. I wish I had more, but you'll still be able to use them for as long as you want afterwards. You can still buy padded flat rate envelope postage afterwards. They're probably actually going to change it to not padded flat rate. They'll allow you to use just regular either flat rate, or they'll change it to regular priority at that point. But still, I would order a ton of those because they're good for lots of shipping. So that news ever breaks, I think everybody's going to mass order those because they're one of my favorites to use.
Tell you what, right now, if you use these, you need to go on tonight and order 2 big boxes, the biggest you can buy. So what I have to do is they only allow you to do 1 max out, and I'll show you actually, you get a box that looks just like this, and then you can log out and log back in and just order another one. Go order those now, because once the end of October, November hits, you're going to be waiting to get those.
Yep, I have 3 of those boxes in my garage right now, unopened, ready to go. I learned that the hard way, like my first or second year reselling. I tried to order them in the middle of November and they came like mid-December, and I was like, damn it. And I worked at the post office. And they would only let me take like 3 or 4 a day because they only had a limited supply at the post office too. So I would have to like grab a couple and go. It was really annoying, but yes, order them now because right now they have a surplus of them at every post office, but that number will dwindle as people start ordering more boxes, because obviously you're going to get that winter rush where everybody's using postal supplies. So definitely do that. Jeremy, I'll let you read this one off as I take a swig of water.
Sure. So this is a question. This is really one of the reasons why we wanted to started this cast. It's not a podcast, but this cast to answer a lot of these newbie questions. And this is one we get all the time. Do you wash clothes, remove stains from shirts, pants, etc., imperfections, or leave it as is? So I think I speak for you too. I don't pick up anything that smells like smoke or has animal hair or anything like that on it. But there are occasions where if it's like a $200 jacket, I'm buying it for $5 and it smells like smoke, I will get it dry cleaned, pay $15 to sell it for $200. But for the most part, yeah, I don't get anything with stains. But then you go home and you take pictures and you're always going to find something that you missed. And so, of course, you're going to try to get that stain out. And if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out.
Yep. I always tell people, especially on Facebook, I think we both get the comments of like, ew, you don't wash thrift store clothing. You just sell it as is. That's gross. But I only wash items with stains or bad smells. I think that's pretty much everybody who sells clothing. Like I tell these people, most clothing in thrift stores were donated from a clean closet. So they've already been cleaned. They're literally just donated and put right on the shelf. Usually thrift stores, in most cases, don't put out grimy, nasty clothing on their thrift store shelves. If you go to the bins, it's a completely different story. But if you're going to a retail store, you're not going to find like dirty, dingy, like not maybe 1 out of 1,000 items. You'll find one that's like nasty and like, why did they put that out here? But in most cases, they were donated from a clean closet. And my retort to all those people is, you won't wear a piece of clothing that was put on somebody else's body that was washed because you think it's gross. But you'll go to a restaurant and you'll stick a fork in your mouth that has been in thousands of people's mouths that has also been washed, and that's completely fine to do. But when you put on a piece of clothing, that's like the most nastiest thing in the world. It literally makes no sense to me. But that's Facebook commenters right there for you.
I've heard you say that one recently.
Yeah. Trisha says don't use Mercari shipping yikes. Yeah, I do have all my shipping from pirateship.com when it comes to Mercari. Do you use a lot of pirate ship on eBay or no?
Really not on eBay. I don't use pirate shipping for anything. And for people who are new in here, I just sell on eBay. So I don't cross list or anything at this point. So just on eBay, I buy everything through eBay. The only time I use pirate ship, which is awesome, is if someone like KayWay, I find him a Colts jersey and I want to send it through him. I'll print off a label through pirate ship. So pirate ship is awesome.
That Colts jersey, by the way, will go right out of the mailbox, and I usually have the garbage can right there, and it just goes right into the garbage can, taken care of, saved, goes right to the landfill where it belongs.
Oh, he's funny.
Oh, we got a goat in the chat, by the way. We have Thrifter Sifter here. What's up, Sifty? He says, if you could pick one food to eat for a week, what would it be? That's a good question.
That's the type of question I like to get. The funny
I like
ones.
that.
I could eat once a week. I could eat it every day of the month. It would be pizza because I like every type of pizza.
What's your favorite pizza if you had to pick one?
Oh, I mean, when it's the kids and it's like a to-go, not like quick. Right now I'm in like the stuffed crust Papa John's.
Yeah, that's good. We had Domino's tonight for dinner, and I hate Domino's, but the kids love Domino's. It's disgusting, but I have to eat it because that's what the kids want.
You guys also in Florida, I don't know if Tampa has it, but Orlando, and some people don't consider it pizza, but Giordano's from Chicago.
Oh, I think I've had that. I think they have it in St. Pete, if I remember correctly. It's somewhere in St. Pete because I think we used to go there on the mail route.
Thick stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Ethan came over like a couple weeks ago, and he brought over mellow mushroom, and the kids love mellow mushroom. So we've actually been picking that up a lot more because it's actually like close to legit pizza instead of like Domino's and like Papa John's. So we've been picking that up a lot more than those other crappy places. Me, I would probably eat wings every day of the week. I love chicken wings. I could eat chicken wings every single day.
With what sauce?
With Blue cheese. I do eat them with ranch, by the way. I just like blue cheese a lot more. But yeah, and you can switch up. The great thing about wings is you can have a hot wing on Monday and you can have like a teriyaki wing on Tuesday. You can switch it up. So same thing with pizza too. You can have different flavors, but wings are versatile. Everybody in the chat, leave your favorite food that you would eat all week long if you could. Leave it down in the chat below. I'm sure we'll get to it in like 20 minutes when we get through all these questions. Oh, here's a good one for newer resellers. I don't think we've ever been asked this one. Do you ever misplace an item that sold, and have you ever refunded the customer money? You go.
The answer for me is yes. Especially when I first started out, yes. And it's a tough one because if you on eBay cancel the order because you lost it, you get a ding, and like 3 of those dings within a long amount of time, a year, maybe, I don't know, half a year, will not let you eligible to be top rated seller. Yep. So that really hurts your account.
It also takes away the ability to promote your listings, I believe, too, is one of the other perks you lose as well. I think there's another perk you lose too. But yeah, that's rough. You always want to make sure. That's why I have all my inventory in bin system. I have them all lettered and numbered. It just helps me go and grab those items super fast. But yes, I do. Usually when I cancel an order, it's normally not on eBay. It's on Poshmark or Mercari because I sold it on eBay and then I just forgot to take it from those 2 platforms. And Poshmark and Mercari, they don't really care about cancellations. Of course, if you do like 20 in a row, they might like ban your account. But if it's like 1 every month or something like that, or 1 every 2 months, you don't really have to worry about it too much. But yeah, on eBay, it's scary. Like I will do everything and anything to find that item. I will go through all of my bins before I cancel that order because you don't want too much cancellations on eBay. It's just like Amazon. You don't want cancellations on Amazon and Facebook Marketplace too. For those of you who sell on Facebook Marketplace, you don't want any cancellations on Facebook because if you get too many, they actually restrict your ability to sell via mailing the item out. You can only sell locally at that point. So you should really, really pay attention to that stuff. Make sure you have a nice inventory system for your inventory. I know you have a little bit different than I do. You want to explain how you do your inventory system?
Yeah. So my inventory system is basically I have 80 totes and I put everything. So what I do, I take my pictures, I bring my items down to my basement from upstairs, and I put my items in light bins. So I'll have a bin of just solid Peter Millar golf shirts, and then I'll have a bin of patterned Peter Millar golf shirts, and they're all clear tubs. So when that orange Peter Millar sells that's striped, I'll go to the striped or the pattern tub and pull it out. So I just know exactly which tub it will be in the basement. That's how I do my inventory system. So I kind of skip a few processes. But if I were to hire somebody, I think I would 100% have to go to the numerical order, alphabetical order system.
Yep, that's one reason I did that too. That's one reason I got like List Perfectly too, is that system, like having it in place where you could just tell the person like, this is how my inventory system works. If there's something sells and it's been A21, you go to bin, you grab number 21, that item gets shipped. Instead of like how your system is right now, like go to the Peter Millar bin and then they're having to search for a Peter Millar. And obviously you know how to do it super fast because you've done it so many times. But that person, especially somebody that doesn't know clothing, like my system, I can bring in somebody that has no clue about clothing and they can immediately find my item. Whereas your system, they have to like dig a little bit. So I'm sure eventually you'll switch that system around and make it more like mine or more like another type of system that's similar to mine, because you're eventually going to have to hire. I think that's
yeah,
step.
if I go down that road. And this also is something I want to bring up because I get the question a lot. For me with reselling, the goal was to live the life I want to live. As far as, I don't want to create a big giant empire like Daily Refinement has done, Chris over at Daily Refinement. That's not my goal. So I might end up hiring someone. I would like to have different revenue streams come in. But I like a simple life, taking my kids on vacation. That's what's rich to me. So I'm not planning on making an empire of this. I really just like helping people out doing this type of stuff. If I could get paid just to do this, I would love to do this. Be a teacher.
I think one day you will get paid just to do this. I'm pretty sure of it. Riri's in the chat. I think Riri's in both of our chats like all the time. Shout out to Riri. She's always here supporting. Trisha said thoughts on Orvis and Alan Flusser. I hate Orvis.
I hate Alan Flusser.
Yeah, I think we both hate the other brand that the other one likes. I sell a little bit of Allen Flusser, but it's normally like the crazy pattern ones. Those are the only ones that move for me. But Trisha sells a shit ton of Orvis, so
Yeah.
shout out to Trisha. She's moving that stuff. I actually
And
picked up a linen all over print Orvis long sleeved on red, white, and blue. So if that thing sells, I'm tagging you in the video, Trisha, when I make it, when that thing eventually sells.
yep.
Let's see. What item has currently been in your inventory the longest listed but hasn't sold? Do you know what that item is?
Ooh, Jen meets world. Does Jen know what that item is?
No, do you know what that item is in your inventory?
Probably
Because
not. Because
I literally just sold mine yesterday.
if I could probably find out, but if I did, I would probably put out 99 cent auction to get rid of it. But no, I have no idea. With the oldest inventory, and the thing is, people ask me about that now. We've been doing it so long, and you're still going to make mistakes, but you're going to pick up stuff that it's going to sell. So anything that I have a long time ago is probably gone by now. But I know that pair of shoes you sold today you've had since,
Yes,
and you were proud to lose money on them.
I left that in there just as like a token of like where I've come from and where I am now. And I didn't care if that thing ever sold. I would have left it in my store for 10 years. But as a pair of Bostonian classic shoes, probably the worst brand you should ever pick up in shoes. And I picked them up. I think it was my first ever thrift trip. Like, I think it was my first or second. I remember I bought them at Sunshine Thrift on 34th Street. I bought two pairs. I think the other one's still listed, by the way. So that's my like second oldest listing. But I probably paid like $6 for them, and they sold for $11 free shipping, and they shipped to California. It cost me $17 to ship them, but I didn't care. I was like, this is the oldest listing in my inventory. It's gone now. Now I have to sell the other pair, which will probably never sell. I don't even think that pair is listed, actually. I probably should just throw them away. But
it's like your best sale. It's like the sale of the week. Like,
I know it's like people are probably like, why are you so happy about losing money? But it's literally like one of my first items I ever listed on eBay. The photos, if you go look at my solds, I took the photos on my kitchen table, and they're such crappy photos. They still like it's a brown pair of shoes on a brown table. It's like what you're not supposed to do, but they still sold, so I'll take it. I'll take it. D Brew said, "Do you guys ever list toys? Do either of you list toys?"
Yeah. If I'm in a Goodwill and I find a toy that's worth money, an action figure or something, I for sure will list it. I used to, right back here, I used to have a small box like you have. I still have it, but I took it down because I'm not finding that stuff. So our Goodwills, they take all that stuff away and put it on shopgoodwill.com now. So it's really tough to find good little hard good like toys. I totally would though if I went to yard sales and found them for whatever, make money. I would.
Yeah, I do. You guys see me at Red, White, and Blue. I don't really go down the toy section at all. I'm sure if I walked past a toy that caught my eye and I looked it up and it was worth money, I would list it. But I mainly focus on clothing. So if I find something good, I'll list it. No problem. I'll sell anything. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter what it is. While in the thrift store, how do you know if an article of clothing is vintage?
That's a question I get a lot. That's kind of one of those things that you learn. I mean, if you want to just dive into it tonight, you could probably learn by the end of the weekend pretty well. If you're talking about t-shirts, the thing is, there are a lot of telltale signs like a single stitch, but there are some companies now that make single stitch again. A tag that has a made in the USA, that's a tag. It's not a screen print, those sorts of things. But you can also, honestly, if there's a print on the shirt, you can Google lens that print, and more than likely that will come up somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I think every brand is different. Levi's made in the USA are vintage. They also are made in, I think even ones that are like made in Mexico now are considered vintage because 2003 is considered vintage, and they changed over to selling in Mexico at that point, or making them in Mexico. They have a date stamp on the back. If you know how to read the date stamp on the back of the Levi's, you can tell what year they were made, all that good stuff. Vintage t-shirts made in the USA, single stitch, that kind of stuff is a telltale sign. But every piece of clothing has something different. You also start, as you do this more, and you see like LL Bean tags. You can look at an LL Bean tag and know which one's vintage versus which one's not vintage, just based off muscle memory of seeing the same item over and over again. And you can also look up tags. So just look up, if you want to learn what vintage LL Bean tags look like. Go on your computer, type in vintage LL Bean tags on Google. Boom. If you want to type in vintage Woolrich tags, boom, you can find them all, vintage Woolrich tags. And as the years go on, 10 years from now, the things that weren't vintage, some of those might be vintage now. So you really got to pay attention to those tags. Every brand has changeovers with tags and how they look. So just keep like a memory bank of what the tags look like when you're going down the aisles.
So I think a good idea, I'm going to piggyback off that, is like I said with the patterns, I would go to Google and look up Polo Ralph Lauren tags by year, and a picture will come up, and then save that picture to your heart. So when you're in the store, you can look up patterns, you can look up tags on Polo Ralph Lauren, Levi's, all those sorts of things. You can have those all in your phone.
Yeah. Joan wants to know Aeropostale. Do you pick up any Aeropostale pieces? And if you do, which ones do you pick up? Yep, same. Mall brand stuff is really hard to move. If you bought it at the bins maybe for 50 cents to $1, you might be able to make a little bit of money on that kind of stuff, but I don't pick it up. At thrift stores, it'll be $5-7 for a pair of Aeropostale jeans or something like that. There's just not enough money in them, so I leave them behind.
I don't even buy new with tags.
If you, let's say you're selling items like how we say, sell items out of your house first before you go to the thrift store. If you have Aeropostale jeans or Aeropostale shirts in your closet, sell those still. Just because we're saying don't pick them up at the thrift store, you still have them in your closet. Sell them for $5, $10, $15, whatever they're worth, and start banking that money up, and then take that money and go to thrift stores and buy stuff. But you can always sell everything. There's always a price on everything. It just depends. If you're paying buying it from a thrift store and there's not enough money in it, you're not going to pick it up.
For sure.
What size envelopes are those? I think they're talking about the padded flat rates. I think they're 11. No, they're
12.5 by 9.5.
Yeah, there you go. That's the dimensions. You can order those free from USPS.com. You create an account. You go to shipping supplies. You click free shipping supplies. There'll be a bunch of free shipping supplies there, and you just order them. You can order them in stacks of 10 up to 100. And like he was saying, they'll send a whole box to you. Your mailman drops them off at your front door absolutely free. So there's no cost to them. There's no cost of delivery, no cost of shipping. It literally gets delivered right to your front door for free.
I'll enter. I'm going to also say that. So there are 3 things that I order from USPS personally. I order a ton of these. I order the Tyvek envelopes, priority Tyvek envelopes, and I order the shoe boxes. Shoe boxes, it's not flat rate. Neither are those Tyvek envelopes, but if you ship priority, those are free things to use.
Yep. The only other one I frequently order is there's a small box. It's a really, really small box. I forget what they call it. I think it's just called a small mailing box or something like that. It's like a little square box. I order that one now, and I order the large regular boxes because on Whatnot, if I sell like a huge jacket and like a couple other pieces to the same buyer, I'll throw all those into the big box and seal it up and ship it out. It's just called the large priority box, not the flat rate, just the regular priority box. What is a good amount of items to list when you're first starting out reselling? I think you just list as many as you can from your house first. Find the stuff in your house. Go through your closets. Go through your kids' closets. List a bunch of stuff. There's no like set number. It's just list as much as you possibly can. The more items you have listed, the more chances you get for a sale.
I don't know about you, but when I first started, it was a rush to get those first, to go into the clothing niche and find a couple pieces and get those sales, and then go out and get more, and they sell, and more, and they sell. It just makes you want to it just naturally comes. You'll just want to keep listing and listing and listing. If you don't have that naturally, by the time you get to our points, you probably will not like the job at all.
Yeah. Yep. I remember like Kayla was like, why are you listing those kids' clothes that we have? We were supposed to donate a bag of kids' clothes, and I just grabbed a bunch and I started lotting them up and listing them that way. And she's like, nobody's going to buy those. And sure enough, like a week later, I sold one of them. I was like, I told you they would sell, but you didn't believe me. But yeah, you just get that rush of once you get your first sale, especially when you get your first sale, it's like, wow, this actually works. Let me go find anything and everything I can possibly sell in this house and just get it all listed. List the kids too. You don't want them? Just list. No, I'm just kidding. Don't list your kids.
I got one for sale.
You can have them. You can have them. Please explain how you look up comps on an item. You want to take that one?
Sure. So I can show you here, but I also have I made a YouTube video just for that. It's like 4 minutes long, super, super quick. But when I look up comps on eBay, give me something to look up. Let's look up a Ralph Lauren purple label, right? So I'm going to type it into my phone. I'm gonna look up a purple label men's shirt. So I type it into my phone because when you're at the thrift store, I have my phone on me. I want to see it right then, right? So there's always going to be a filter. If you're using an iPhone, as KayWay always says, if you don't have an iPhone, go throw away your phone and get an iPhone. You go to your filter, and then you can do condition. And if it's in used condition, which it probably is, you're going to select use, go back, and then you want to go all the way down to the bottom, not to completed listings, but sold listings. You have to do sold listings. If it's completed listings, that doesn't mean they sold. So then there you will have a ton of items that have sold, and that will give you an idea of what to price your item at. So for example, if that shirt is priced it's been selling between $30 and $40, that gives you an idea where you want to price yours.
Yep. And for that example that he's saying, like, let's say you look up those and let's say it pulls up how many used purple label Ralph Laurens are on there right now that you just looked up and used.
Yeah. Let's say there are 1,000.
Yeah. So there's 1,000. So let's say you look up that and they're like all over the place still. And you're like, damn, how do I figure out if this is worth picking up? Then you might want to niche down at that point. So you go back to your title and you add, maybe you have a solid white Ralph Lauren long sleeve. So you put solid white long sleeve after the purple label, and that will bring your search down a little bit more. And then maybe it's made out of, I don't know, cashmere or something crazy like that, or silk. Then you add silk into the end. And now you have, instead of 1,000, you're looking at 10 solds and 5 listed, and that gives you a better idea of what that item is actually going to sell for. So start broad and then start going down and niche down on that item, and you'll get better comps while you're at the thrift store. That's the cool thing about thrift store shopping too, is you can look at the item and know if you're going to make a profit before you even buy the item. A lot of businesses, you can't do that. You got to just take a shot in the dark and buy a bunch of product and hope it sells. This one, you don't have to do that. You can see if they're currently selling on eBay. They actually have a market.
You're almost guaranteed not to lose money.
Yep. Can you repeat the Mercari shipping policy? I have a buyer. I have the buyer pay shipping to use their labels. Is there a better way? I don't do that because Mercari shipping is pretty expensive. So what I do is I give free shipping to the buyer. It's the very last option on Mercari when you list your items. I give free shipping. I work the cost of my label into the price of the item. So if I'm going to list it for $29.99 plus shipping on eBay, I'll probably list it for $35 on Mercari, free shipping. And then I sell the item. I go to Pirate Ship. I purchase my label. I just use the address that Mercari gives me for the buyer. And then I purchase my label on Pirate Ship, print it out, and then I copy the label information, go to Pirate Ship and paste the label information into the sale. And then Mercari lets the buyer know that I shipped the item. That's the way I do it, just simply because Mercari shipping is a little crazy. So we got some food. We're way behind right now, but Costco pizza, wings, over Publix subs. Ooh, Elliot, I didn't think about pub sub. Have you ever had a pub sub before, Surfs?
Are you talking about Publix, the store?
Yeah, Publix subs.
No, but anytime you Floridians, like whether it be you or your sister or anybody, it's always like the buffalo chicken subs or something.
Oh man, it's the best. Buffalo chicken tender sub. I don't get mine toasted. I know a lot of people do, and I put ranch on the bun with lettuce, onions, pickles. It's like the best thing because they just load it up with chicken. They used to put a ton more chicken. Now they're kind of being a little skimpy with it, but they used to like cut up, like, it feels like they cut up like 10 chicken tenders and just threw them all on top. It was like piled up, but they're the best. Oh, yeah.
All I know is when I go to Florida, I go to Publix and get like 2 key lime pies for wherever we're staying.
Kayla doesn't like key lime pie, so I never get to eat them anymore. I haven't had a key lime pie in forever, so it's been a while.
I was gonna hire her, but not anymore.
New here. How do you know the best brands to look for? What did you used to teach? That's for you. You got this one.
Sure. So I used to teach. So my degree is in special education, and then I have it's in physical education and special education. So I taught PE to special needs students. So anyone that couldn't go to gym, those are the students I taught, anywhere from 5-year-olds to 22-year-olds. I did that for a long time. I was also pretty much like a dean / assistant principal. So I dealt with a whole bunch of discipline. That's what I taught. But how do I know what brands to look for? Basically, it's going to probably be the same answer he's going to say. I watched people like him and consumed as much information as I could. at night, on my way to work, I'd listen to whatever. And there were only a handful of people back when I started. So I would just listen to what brands, and they would just do thrift hauls. I would just literally watch their thrift hauls. What did they pick up? And these are people that are selling stuff often. You could tell their store, they were selling stuff. I would just watch their thrift hauls and take mental notes. That's what I would do.
Facts. Tons of free content online. You can do it on Instagram now. TikTok is a great source. Like short form content where you can suck up a bunch of information and just go to the next one. You can even type in like thrift hauls on TikTok and just go through all the videos and just watch a ton of videos and see what people are picking up. Of course, some of those people are like thrift hauls for themselves, so it's not really reseller thrift hauls, but other ones are reseller thrift hauls. You can just watch. Like you can, I literally have probably 50 to 100 videos of thrift hauls just on my channel alone, where you can just see all the items I'm picking up, and you'll see consistently the same brands in my videos. Like Mavi jeans, probably the last 5 videos I've probably picked up a pair of Mavi jeans that you can see that I pick those up consistently. So that's a really good way to learn. Same with Surfs. He has a ton of content. We do live thrifts. I have live thrift videos on my channel. He has live thrift videos on his channel. It's like there's so much just on our 2 channels alone to learn men's clothing. And a little bit of women's too. A little bit of women's.
I'm going to say this too. Since I've been in this community right here, oh gosh, since I've been in this community right here, I've never seen so many people come so far with reselling than I have this year. So it took me way longer to get to some of these points that I've been watching people that are following us. Like I started back in February and where they are now, because there's so much information out there. When I first started, there wasn't, and it was trial and error, a lot of it. So what does this person say? What is it like knowing that your wife's hold the fort down and you're absolutely lost without them? I wear the pants around here.
Who is this troll in our chat, Surfs? Who is this?
Troll. Who could that be? I will give it up. So actually, it's a good point. That's my wife. So shout out Shelby. So with this, we actually were in a parent meeting tonight, and with her job as a teacher, there's so much stress, but she does get that time off, which you have to have as a teacher. With my job, I don't feel the stress, but I'm working every second of the day. I feel like, other than when I'm with my kids, I'm literally working from sun up to sundown, but I enjoy it. I'm not stressed. And if I want to go do something, I can do it. So appreciate her being around. Appreciate you, Shelbs. And giving me that free teacher insurance.
Yep. Everybody knows Kayla's the workhorse. I just come on live and act like I do a lot of this stuff, but Kayla does everything behind the scenes.
I do see that, actually.
Especially on lives in the morning. Can't even hide it anymore. With the light box, people see them like walk in the light box. Her and mom are just walking the light box the whole time, and I'm just sitting out here like shipping items and answering questions. So thanks to them, I'm in this position.
And she gets up the kids.
Exactly. But I've been staying up with Joey lately. Like I've been taking care of that boy. He's my assignment. She had the girls in the beginning, and Joey's my complete assignment. So when he's up at like 2 a.m., I'm the one who has to go in there and put him to bed, which I actually really enjoy that. Like before, when I worked at the post office, I would never have that opportunity. I'd have to go to bed because I'd have to wake up at 6. I have to drive all day. Like I have to be in the truck, so I can't be tired. So she knew like she had to be the one to take care of the kids, because I literally couldn't work if I was tired. So now
that's what's rich to me.
Yep.
That's what's rich. Knowing that you don't have to get up and go there for someone else.
It's awesome. Like I actually enjoy, like I'm going to enjoy like teaching him and watching him grow, because I'm going to be the one that gives him all that information. Whereas opposed to when the girls were growing up, I was working 12-hour days. I would come home and like fall asleep. Like there'd be very like on the weekends, on Sundays is when we'd have family time. Every other day there was no family time. Whereas now every single day between like 2:30 and 8 o'clock when they go to bed, we have a ton of family time all in between there every single day of the week. So when people tell us to go get a normal job or go get a real job, I'm like, no, thank you. You can have all the real jobs you want. I'd rather do this every single day of my life. So
yeah, I think, yeah, for sure.
Yep. Facts. Thrifter Sifter is still here. By the way, Thrifter Sifter, you're hanging out for a long time. I like this. You should do this a lot more often. What's the least favorite item to sell and why? Least favorite item to sell.
Take it. You take that one.
So I wouldn't say it's a least favorite item to sell. I think we said blazers and shoes. I think for me, it would have. I love shoes, but I hate listing them. So it'd probably be shoes, even though they're super easy to pack and super easy to ship. I just, for some reason, I hate listing. I literally have I wish I could show it. I literally have a box full of shoes over there, like massive box. It's probably like $1,000 worth of shoes, and I've had them sitting over there for like a month and a half. I still haven't listed them, so it'd probably be shoes for me.
Ethan's gonna be so upset. Yeah, I like blazers. I don't like listing them, but because they sell for so long, so I do like listing them. If I don't like listing something, I don't get it. And so this is what I've done the past 2 months. I've said, you know what? If I'm going to go to a cart, I'm going to need to know men's, kids, and women. So I've been picking up all these women's brands. I literally have 2 giant totes full of women's clothing. I hate listing women's clothing because there's so many models of dresses, and I don't like listing them. So I have these totes full of women's clothing. A lot of you guys are going to be like, I mean, it's Lululemon, everything. I don't like listing women's clothing. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't ever list the women's clothing. Kayla prices it. Kayla lists it. I just take photos of it sometimes, and that's pretty much it. Like, she takes care of all that because I don't even know what to call these things. I still don't. I tell this all the time. I don't know the difference between a top and a blouse still. Nobody has told me the difference. They haven't given me a significant answer, straight to the point answer. It's always like a blouse is like flowy and a top is just a top. I'm like, that's not an answer. I need to know a definition of the two.
What bothers me is when you go into eBay and it has you do the item specifics that you must do. And it's a women's top and it's like this long, like you said, blouse, tunic, top, mini. I'm done. I'm not picking up. I'm not listening.
Dresses are even worse. Dresses are like, they have a mini, a maxi, a midi, a shirt dress. There's like, what is all these names for these? How do you guys keep up with all this stuff? It's miserable.
It's miserable. So yeah, that's my least favorite.
That's actually a good one. It's probably my least favorite too, now that I think of it. Have you ever mispriced an item and sold before you caught the error? Example, $9.99 when it should have been $20.99. Just go outside and scream. You just go outside and scream your head off. I think we've all like underpriced items before, especially if like we don't like know and we're just like, all right, the comps look good. I'm gonna price it for $29.99. I don't know the price, and then like you list it, sells like that, and you're like, oh crap, I should probably have listed that for more. And then you go do more research on it. Shout out to Pure Hustle Podcast. Orlando just talked about this like 5 podcasts ago. He sold a lamp, super underpriced. Like after he went and looked at it, it's just the cost. If you make money on it, oh well, somebody got a better deal. I'm sure they'll sell it for more money. But as long as you make money, who cares? If you price it too low, like if you're supposed to price it for $29.99, you price it at $9.99. Oops, you still have to ship that item. So that's what I would do.
I'm going to say this too, Manuel. This is a perfect time of year that could happen. Because if you're listing winter coats right now and you're looking at comps, you're looking at the last 90 days, which are the warm, hot season. So those comps are going to probably be way less than what they would actually sell for now. So you might have that happen right now. So just be cognizant of that, what time of year it is.
Tracy asked, sorry if this already been asked. Don't worry. You guys can ask the same questions over again. We'll always answer them. It does not matter to us. Yep. Do you promote listings on eBay? Do you promote Surfsup?
Not as much as I did since I have Auto Posture. So I know you do. Before Auto Posture, I did everything at 3 or 4%.
Yep. I recently, I haven't even said this yet. 2 days ago, I changed it from 3% to 5% because I saw my sales. So I talked to Chris at Peak about this too. I know there's an algorithm. Nobody knows what the algorithm does, but as I'm getting more people to view my store and they're going through and looking at all my listings, we talked about this with J-Ride too. I have a feeling when somebody goes into the listing, again, this is not proven, but I'm assuming this is how an algorithm works, right? They go into the listing, they look at your item, but they don't buy it. I'm getting a lot of those on my store because people are looking at my store, they're looking at the items, how I have them listed. So eBay's seeing a bunch of people go to my store, an influx of people, but nobody's buying the items. So I'm assuming that they're going to push my items down in search. I'm assuming that's how an algorithm works. If you have somebody that's selling a ton of items that people are clicking on their item and selling it instantly, and then other people are having people click on it, but then go to a different listing and buy it, that probably hurts me. So what I did was I actually increased my thing to 5% to see if that's going to increase my sales. And lately I've had more sales in the last like week than I've had in like the last like 3 months. So just the last couple of days I've had really good sales. Like yesterday I shipped out 14 items just on eBay alone. So it seems like it's working. It seems like it's helping. Is that good for everybody? No. I think in my situation that I have a lot of people going to my store, I think it's going to help me maybe get a couple more sales than I normally would because I'm promoting a little bit higher.
And you guys can look at that in your eBay performance. It's called impressions, impressions.
Yep.
So it'll tell you if your impressions of your store are down or up. And if you have a lot of people going to your store, like he said, and not buying, your impressions look bad, and eBay might drag you down because of it. But that's kind of one of the sacrifices, which I think we're both happy to do and be transparent about with our store. Because I remember starting out, people would tell you stuff, but they wouldn't give you their store name. So that's just kind of one of those things we dealt with. But yeah, that makes sense. 5%.
Yeah, it's a couple more percent. Like of all my items I've sold, I only sold I think I've sold in the last 2 days, 25 or 30 items on eBay. And of that, I think only 10 of those were an extra 2% promoted fee. So not that big of a difference. I'm getting more sales, generating more money. So I'm completely fine with doing that.
And before we answer this for Tracy, just for you guys that are new, because this is aimed towards all of you. If someone finds your item organically, then you will not get charged the promoted listing fee. But if someone finds it because it through a promoted app or through whatever, you will get charged that. So if someone looks up that purple label white cashmere sweater that we just talked about earlier, they found it naturally, organically, and they bought it, you're not going to get charged that promotion.
Yep. Yeah, not just because I do a 5% promotion doesn't mean everything that I sell gets a 5% fee from eBay. I think people get confused with that, and that's what he just spoke to. And also, if you're selling a lot of niche products, there's probably not a reason for you to promote. If there's something you're selling and there's only 3 listed and 3 sold, and it's going to sell within 90 days, you probably don't want to promote that because there's only 3 listed. Why would you promote it? But if you're selling Polo Ralph Lauren polos, there's a million bajillion of those listed on eBay. You promote those to push it up in search so you get a better chance of a sale. So it really also just depends on what you're selling. I think a lot of people that watch us probably are selling clothing. So that's when you would probably decide to promote that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a good question. Who was the first reseller you watched? I'll let you take that one.
Maybe Rake and Profit.
Yeah, I think that's a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'd say it's all at the same time. A couple of the people have fell off pretty quick, but it was Rake and Profit, Rally Roots were all around that time.
Yeah, mine was Rally Roots. I spoke to this on Nashville Flippers podcast. I was working for the post office doing stocks. Stocks weren't doing good in 2018, or I was trying to learn them and I wasn't really learning them good enough. And I went down the rabbit hole and found Rally Roots and started watching all their videos. So Rally Roots would be mine. Let's skip down a little bit. Let me try to get some better questions before we head off. How much longer are you going to stay on, Surfs?
We want to make this a thing. So we're not going to ramble on. We want to make it, maybe we'll do an hour. We'll do an hour, 40 minutes this week, but definitely keep it like a podcast type-ish where we'll save questions for later too.
Yeah, we used to do these on TikTok for those of you on Facebook and YouTube. And TikTok lives go away forever, whereas these will always stay on our channel. I think we'll try to do these every Thursday or maybe every other Thursday. We still haven't decided that yet. But I like just hanging out, answering questions because we both, when we do our lives, we get the same exact questions in our lives. And this way you get 2 people's opinions that run their business is almost the same, but there are differences in it. So you get 2 differences of opinions. And we're both cool with that. I love the way Surfs run his business. He likes the way I run mine. We do a little bit different in every one, but we still make good money doing it. So not everybody has to be the same. Mm-hmm. Here's a question. I don't sell hats. Do you sell hats?
Yeah, I'll sell them. If I come across them and I know they're worth money, I'll sell them for sure.
Yeah. I sell a very, very minimal hats. Like he said, Ethan found a Lululemon hat at the Red, White, and Blue 3 weeks ago, and I sold it on Whatnot. But those are the hats I'm looking for. Of course, I know shark tooth hats and stuff like that. If I find a Cowboys shark tooth hat, I know those are worth good money. But I don't really glance through the hat section too often. If I was doing more garage sales, I probably would do a lot more hats because garage sales, you can pick up hats for $1. Where at thrift stores like mine, it's $4 to $5 for hats. And sometimes there's not enough margin in those. Judy says, darn, just jumped on. Well, that's perfectly fine, Judy, because you can rewatch these lives, I think on both of our channels too. So you can either go to Surf's Facebook or YouTube, or you can go to my Facebook or YouTube and you can rewatch this whole live. So feel free to. It's almost like a podcast. So you guys can literally put this on in the background as you're working and you can listen to us in the background. We answer questions the whole time. And then if you think of any, come back next week. I think we'll probably do this next week, right?
Yep, I get it next Thursday.
Yeah, so we'll come back next Thursday. Hold your questions for these lives, and we'll answer them in front of everybody. And hopefully next week we'll try to knock out questions quicker. This is our first live, and I didn't even think about doing the little touch the button and hit the question on it. And I think next week will be a lot quicker at answering these questions. My husband gave me 15 pairs of LeBron's Jordans to get my reselling started. Haven't listed yet, but after watching this, I feel more motivated. Thank you both for being so supportive. Let's go, Tina.
You got it, Tina.
You got some good stuff there. You got LeBron's and Jordans. Those are easy money. You could list those on any site, and those would sell. So you got good stuff there. Maybe just clean them up, even though I don't clean shoes, but clean them up a little bit. List them on eBay. The good thing about shoes is they're super easy to list. And they're super easy to ship too. I just don't like listing them, but you just throw them in a light box or throw them on a table, take some photos, and you use that box right there. It's literally called a priority mail shoe box. So you take the shoes, you flip them reverse way, and you just slide them right into the box, throw some packing paper on top or something like that, weigh it, measure it, and you can actually do that while you're doing the listing and then charge shipping to the customer, and you'll never make a mistake on that one. They're super easy to do, especially for a new person. Let's see.
Real quick, also going with that, what do you recommend people to buy when they're just starting out if they're trying to figure out shipping and everything?
So when I first started, I wanted to learn menswear, obviously. So what I did was I went into the thrift store and I learned polos first. I literally just went to the polo section. I didn't go to any other section of the store, just went to polos, learned polos. And then I ventured off into long sleeves, short sleeves, jeans, et cetera, et cetera. One of the easiest, if I were to start over again, I think jeans are super easy. A lot of men's jeans, you're just looking for brands. Same with women's, you're looking for brands. Women's a little bit different. You're looking for styles in some cases too. But if you learn a bunch of the jean brands, you go to a thrift store, you can normally find 1 to 2 pairs of jeans in every thrift store that you can resell. Take those home, take really quick photos and measurements and list those. And then, like we said, you can charge shipping as a padded flat rate. So you can charge that padded flat rate to the customer. You stick them in the padded flat rate, you ship them out. You don't even have to weigh, measure them or anything. You just put them in the padded, ship them out. And then after that, that's when I would start venturing off into the short sleeves, long sleeves, stuff like that. What about you? What would your answer be to that?
Actually, where I was going with that is what people should buy to when they get started out, as far as scales and those sorts of things. But
gotcha. Okay.
I'm with you on that though. But yeah, I hear you always recommend buy a scale because you have to enter your weight. Shipping, like I said earlier, I think shipping is so scary for so many people. You just get a scale. All you have to do is put in the weight, put in the measurements, and you're done. That's it. Yep. And it will calculate. eBay will, if you have the buyer pay shipping, eBay will automatically calculate how much they pay you, and they will pay it to you. And if you put in the right shipment, or you put in the right dimensions, and you put in the right weight, you ship it the way you said, priority or ground advantage, you'll be good.
Yep. Jennifer just bought a large USPS order, learned it from this live. So let's go. Got your first set of USPS boxes and poly mailers. Get it all for free. Have it delivered to your front door. That's the way to do it right there. Sassy.
Just kidding.
No, I wish I did. Sassy Sarah says, how do you have your eBay auto posture set up? Do you know how your settings are set up on auto posture for eBay?
Yeah. So auto posture, guys, super easy. It's literally when it came out, it's like, this is exactly what I need, and I'm not paying $400 for it. But yeah, I can just go right now to my auto posture store and sign in, and I'll just show you exactly how I have it done. I have my recreates set up. I don't know if you can see it. So my recreates, which is the recreates, and I also have my offer. So my offers right now are at 5%. So anytime someone looks at my item and they watch it, auto posture will automatically send out that offer that I decide. Right now, I'm deciding it's 5%. I've had it at 10, I've had it at 8, but right now at 5. So my auto posture is set at 5%.
There you go. Here, I'm going to show mine really quick. I'm going to stick you to the corner. You're in timeout, okay? There he is. He's in timeout. This is how I have mine set up right here. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys can see that, right? Yep. This is how mine's set up right here. eBay recreates. Let's go to update settings. That's exactly the settings that I have set up right here. So easy peasy. I don't do any of these right here. I just click on the recreates and I save it. I have my Mercari offers. The only thing I turned off is eBay offers because I like to send those out in batches now instead of sending them out as they come in. I just find I'm getting more sales if I do it that way than if I did it the other way. So there you go. That's how I do mine. You know you can do that, Surfs? You can literally just show your screen super easily.
Yeah. We're going to have a private conversation about that.
It's easy. You just click a button and you can just...
I know.
You have to give permissions to your computer, though. That's the hardest part to set that up. So we'll take like 1 or 2 more questions. If you guys have any more questions, leave them down in the chat. We got 5 more minutes. If you guys like this type of setup and you like these, leave a thumbs up in the chat and make sure you like wherever you're watching this from. Surfs Up live on Facebook or YouTube, my live or Facebook on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and then jump over to the other person's platform and hit a like button on theirs too. So that way it pushes in the algorithm a little bit. And we'll definitely do these more often if you guys like it. So
and it can be themed too, you know.
Yep. I think too we can bring like some of our like Bolo brands, maybe like keep a couple off to the side and like show a couple of those labels. I think that'll be good for educational purposes too. Like we're talking about Brioni, but it would be nice to have like a Brioni blazer like right here, so we can bring a couple of our favorite brands we listed this week or something like that. Or I don't know if you can you screen share on your side? You probably can, can't you?
Probably.
Okay, so we can we'll have listings already set up in our tabs, and we can just show them some of our eBay listings. That'll be a good thing to do. Yep. We can have both screen share at the same time. That's actually pretty. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, and talk about recently sold items and why we sold them for how much. So look at that. We're just brainstorming on camera, guys.
I like that. Yeah, we're just brainstorming right in front of you guys. We're figuring it all out as we go. That's what real resellers do. Buying a thermal printer was my best buy. Helped so much. Yes, thermal printers. Like, obviously, it's a cost. As soon as your business can afford to buy one, I would just put that cost in. It's a cost of supply for your business, so it's a write-off at the end of the year. And it will save you so much time and so much money using thermal printer. Shout out Kings of eBay. I know he doesn't use one, but he should. Like it's such a good business expense.
Best monetary investment I've ever made.
Yep. Here's another one. How to make best titles for listings. Ooh. I'll let you start and then I'll piggyback off what you say. How do you make your best title for eBay?
Okay, so a lot of people will have, you should start with this, you should start with that. What I would do is look up someone's sold listing that got good money for it or whatever, and I would just sell similar, and their title will already be up there for you. And you can just change the size or the pattern or the color. Their item sold really quickly or for good money or whatever, their item had a good title. Yep. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yep. Maybe just change, like if you, like when I copy someone's listing, I don't really do that too often now, but if I did, what I would do is I'd move, like I always put the name of the brand and then the size. And I know some people put the size at the end of the title. So just to keep my listings uniform, I'll move the size over to the middle or to the front where I normally keep it. But after you do this for a while, you kind of know, like if I'm going to list Peter Millar, Summer Comfort, men's large, long sleeve, multicolored plaid shirt or button front shirt, like that's a whole title right there. You'll get in a rhythm of putting in those exact keywords as you're making your title. And very rarely will you like adjust that. Maybe it's like a certain fabric or something, or you put polyester if you don't have enough keywords. But after a while, you'll kind of have a memory bank of keywords that you can fit into titles and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're good to go. We answered. I think we got to pretty much everybody. There's like very few people that we skipped. So, and everybody left thumbs up in the chat. So they want us to bring it back. So we'll bring it back next Thursday at 9 p.m. EST. I think that'll be the time that we go to do these live. So
yeah. And one more thing, I'm pretty sure later on you guys can write or comment in the chat. So if there are any certain things that you want us to answer or you want us to talk about, type them in the chat. Then we'll maybe have an idea of what to expect next week too.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about these lives doing on Facebook and YouTube. That's one reason why I like doing lives on Facebook and YouTube, is because if you guys ask me a question afterwards, like, hey, where do you get those poly bags that you use in all your videos? I can literally like link you the link tree where I have the poly bags, or link you directly to my Amazon store, or just reply to you. If you have a basic question, I can always reply to you afterwards. And I try to get to as many as I can. With Facebook now, it's like getting hard because I get consistent comments. Like every 2 minutes, I'm getting a comment on my video. So it's hard to get back to everybody. But if I see your comments, super easy to answer. I'll normally come back and leave you a little message on what your answer should be. So tell the people, I guess, where they can follow you, Surfs. They follow you on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Feet Finder, right?
Yeah, feetfinder.com. No. And also go to my store. You can go to my link tree, but feel free to go to my store online and on eBay and search through it all you want to research. But yeah. No, that was your feet. Did you not send me a picture of your feet?
I did yesterday. Yes, I showed him the roof where it was leaking, and then at the end, I pointed to the ground and I showed him my feet, and then I was like, "You got free feet in this video." And then it was you and Trisha.
Those are all over the internet, by the way.
Nice. I want a percentage of that. I'm a real reseller.
They're not selling. I'm not pricing.
Oh, you're just giving them away?
Yeah.
Damn, Surfs, you could have made money on that stuff.
Oh, geez.
What kind of reseller are you? Yeah. All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll do this again next week. Adios. Peace out. We need like an exit. We need to figure that out. Oh yeah, this thing. Wait, no, hold on. I gotta go this way. It's confusing because I gotta do it the opposite way.
All right. Peace. Peace out, everybody.
Very awkward, but that's okay. That's what this